Hey, we're going for a progress check in the middle of the afternoon to see what's happened. Well, it's interesting to note, I haven't done this yet, but we've got new neighbors in the house over there, and they installed chain link fence for their dogs this weekend. So it's really simple installation. Cutting is very straightforward. They're just using a reciprocal saw to cut through and make sure that it fits. And all the seams on the outside here are just foamed in so that they're complete. No air pockets, nothing. It'll be interesting to see what they do. So there's an air pocket there. But I suspect that what's going to happen is that the other pieces will fit over top of this or something.
No, I did cut it at 89. I cut that 4 foot length.
Oh, so your office is
Mm-hmm.
out a bit.
Yeah.
Come here. Okay.
Wonder what all this pipe is for.
What?
Wonder what all this pipe is for.
That's the heating pipes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And the pictures are all red, all like on the brochures and everything like that. So.
Must absorb heat or something. Don't know exactly how that works. Oh, so there's the clean out there that he was talking about. So where's the I guess he's going to make a 90-degree turn and go out from there. Because that's coming from inside the house. So the main stack must already be tied in.
Yeah.
Wow, the main stack's sitting right there, Trish.
So that's where the toilet is.
That pipe will go up to
to the second floor one.
but it'll have a Y in it for the bathroom. I guess they're cutting this piece here. I guess they're cutting this piece here.
In there.
Yeah. So this is Tuesday. We're just going to check the progress and see how far along the line, because we noticed that they hadn't done the garage yet, and so I suspect that that's what they're primarily working on today. Okay, there's a larger crew here. 3 people and a dog. Hello. Oh, okay. Okay. I get the point. I get the point. There we go. So we're not so scary. We're not so scary. No, we're not so scary. Hmm?
About finished up.
Oh yeah.
How's it going?
Hey Jay.
Good.
Good. It's more like a house now.
Yeah, it does.
Got the layout anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boys are going to start the heating system here in a couple minutes, and
Okay.
that'll be the heating system. So we don't get our rebar and steel until tomorrow, but we will go ahead and start laying the heating system in just to finish out our day, and then we'll see. I'll just have to disconnect it and lift it up and lay in the bottom steel, and so it's working backwards probably for half an hour, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
This way here we won't have to worry. I won't have to worry too much, so then we can get it done too.
So does the heating distribution end up being embedded in the concrete then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
It's all
interesting.
lay in there. So the heaters will sit inside the mechanical room, and then the
Yep.
piping is all that piping in it.
Yep.
Basically heats the concrete floor, and that's what heats your whole house. So.
And so then you put the rebar on top of the
There's
pipes?
mesh in the bottom, and then there's a top layer of mesh, and then there's rebar that lays on top of the
okay.
mesh. So there's some on the bottom, some on the top. The garage sits on top of like snake chairs. So we'll lay in bottom mesh. That's why there's a step in that
Right,
the way it
okay.
is right now.
Yeah.
So we basically step that and then lay in the bottom layer mesh, then and then go from there. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So a little bit of both is where it'll be, but top mesh, bottom mesh, and top rebar, and there's a grid in here to pick up the load from the stairwell. But basically, the next step is the heating system. So that's where we're at now.
Yep.
So.
So how does, I mean, obviously we'll see how this works next week, but how does this match up with the other modules? Does it fit on top of it, or
it sits in on top of concrete? So the wall
Ah,
sits
okay.
here. So this is your thermal panel that will line up here.
with the wall itself?
Yeah. So we'll lay our ICF sits in here.
Ah, okay.
And then when it's all done, we wrap the house with the 8-inch panels that sit right on top of there and go on to the ICF.
Oh, okay.
Now the garage doesn't have it, and that's
Yep.
why it's that style.
Yep.
So the garage ICF lines up flush.
Yep.
So that outside of the styrofoam edge element will be outside of the styrofoam block.
Okay.
But in here, the styrofoam block actually butts this here and sits in here. But when we pour concrete comes to here, and then the block sits on top of that, and then we have rebar dowels that will be set in all the way around the whole perimeter.
That hold it in place.
For the
Yeah,
connection.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll take it up, level all this area here, and then we can put the flat top of the garage, and then subfloor on, and then go up again.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy build.
So I've had past experience where I was working for a concrete forming company,
Oh yeah.
and totally different than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we did the rebar, but it was rebar on top of pea gravel,
Yeah.
and it was always a question of trying to smooth things out rather than
Yeah.
and we're looking at any. And then the forming too, the basement
You
walls
throw the
are
rough in.
totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything's basically inside the slab, and yeah, pretty easy build. So, no problems whatsoever. So, like I say, we're going to pour Monday, and we'll we'll leave it for a few days after that, and then we'll
Curing. Yeah.
then we'll come back and we'll start the ICF, and we'll probably be back kind of midweek. Maybe we start Wednesday or something like that. Wednesday start putting styrofoam down, and then get it up, and then probably pour the following Monday again. We'll be about 3 or 4 days kind of putting the whole,
Yeah.
because the first level has all the garage in it
Yeah,
too, so
yeah.
it takes a little bit more. So we'll
Yeah.
get all that done, and then that will kind of, like I say, we'll get it up.
So you put the rafters directly on top of the inside wall then?
No, it actually attaches. So we put like a ledger board,
Yeah. Okay.
get wet set into the ICF. So there's a flush mount metal bracket that basically goes in, and then there's like a J-hook style that fastens a rim board around the perimeter.
Okay.
And then the floor joists are designed to hang off a joist hanger
Right.
on
Okay.
those.
Yep.
So they run all the way across, and there will be one bearing wall in here
Yeah.
for
Midway,
the staircase.
yeah.
Midway. Right,
That's the one that's going to go all the way up to the top.
It'll go up through,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll be. So floor trusses are designed to fit inside the actual footprint.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So that's all good to go, and then So yeah, I'll give them the go ahead. I haven't told them to go ahead yet, but I'll tell them to give them the go ahead on that here. They need 2 weeks notice, so I would think pretty much tomorrow or today I'll call them and tell them to go ahead.
Hey, any guesstimate as to when you think the shell will be finished?
No, I don't know. Like, we'll be okay. And I was talking to Matt from Legolet this morning about that I think, like, he was just wanting to know delivery for the thermal wall, and I'm like, I'm not even worried about it, because I'm going to focus on getting the inside done. And when we have time, we'll worry about the outside. So yeah. I'm like, probably in the 1st of November we'll take delivery of that. But the month of October, I want to be going wide open inside, getting as much stuff done, get the roof on it, and then get as much stuff done, prepped and ready to go, so people can be working inside. Then I can worry about the outside.
Yeah, because the thermal wall on the exterior doesn't have to be done for the next draw.
No, and it doesn't matter what way we do that. Like, it could be for the next draw. I separated the exterior from the interior, so whatever way we and Kathy's not gonna, if I say, you know what, Kathy, we're not doing that, we're doing this instead, the value's there. She's gonna be like, I can do whatever I want. She's not gonna question anything. Although the value's there, we're not asking for something that isn't there.
Yeah.
I can justify every dollar spent, so it's not, we just show her receipts for stuff and show all the values there. So it's Kathy's good to work with. I've worked with her for a long time, so I'm not worried about that so much. But the main thing is once we get the roof on it and get everything all sealed up, then we'll just focus on the interior, getting it prepped while we're waiting. Well, trades are doing that, I could be doing something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Thermal wall is not a big job either. It's big panels that basically cover the inside.
So how do they attach?
They big, heavy, long screws that go right into the web, so it's super easy to put in, and so that part of it won't be a big deal to put on, right? So, and I almost rather get the building up, then I can take some measurements and get them, like, they can cut them exact, and then so that kind of helps us as well. So
Perfect.
It's the least of my worries. So
okay, we'll let you.
But it'll work out. Okay, thank
you.
Thanks.
Lots of movement, and things are going to start moving fast, which from my perspective is very good, even though we don't know exactly when we're going to be able to get in. But the way he's talking sometime this year. At least that's my interpretation.